everybody, welcome back. This is Jana with Pearl Together, and I'm coming to you from my new office space. You'll notice the walls are a little different color. So I'm working it out. The lighting is a little wonky, and I don't know what's going on here. Trying to grow out the hair, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be awkward. But it's real life, right? Yeah, hair, dilemma, issues, all that. Okay, so this is part one of the Scary Desk Tour, or the Tote Tour, that I talked about during our clog vlog series with Jill. So what we're going to do is go through the mess on my desk. You're not going to see the mess on my desk because that's just embarrassing. However, I'm going to go through my whips and talk about them and maybe become inspired and encouraged to actually finish some of them. That would be good. First, though, I am behind on my thank yous, and I apologize for that. We have had an influx of new patrons in the last 6 weeks or so, and I'm very, very thankful for that. That's what keeps me going here and keeps these videos coming to you. And when we were doing Clog Vlog, I didn't take the time out of my podcast with Jill to do proper thank yous. So I want to catch up with my proper thank yous during my desk tour. So this is part one of the thank yous and the desk tour. So not necessarily in order of patron sign up, but I want to give a big shout out and a very heartfelt thank you to the following patrons: Cindy, Cheryl, Katie, Lydia, Janice, Sherry, Elizabeth, Doreen, Margaret, and Barb. Thank you very much for supporting the channel and my creative endeavors here. Definitely appreciate that. If you want to become a patron and learn how to go about that, support the channel, receive some perks in return, head over to patreon.com/Pearl Together, and you can see the various tiers and rewards for supporting Pearl Together. So thank you very much to those people. More patron thank yous will be coming on part two of the desk tour. All right, let's get into it. So the first one I'm going to talk about is that damn sweater. You've heard a lot about the damn sweater if you've been following Pearl Together for very long at all. This is a sweater that I started 3 years ago. I had these great all right, so this started because my mother lost a pattern. She had a sweater that she loved so much, and she pretty much wore it out. But then she couldn't find the pattern that she wanted to make herself another one. We all remember what this sweater looked like, and it was a cotton thing, and it was a specific pattern that she really liked. Well, she thought she had it. Well, she went through this purging thing where she got rid of all these magazines and pamphlets and patterns and stuff, and she had them in those like cardboard magazine box holders, like you put them on a shelf and you could fit a bunch of magazines all in one. And she donated them to me. And so they were over here for a while, and we went through them many, many times thinking this pattern was in one of those magazines. And we never found this specific one. I'm looking down here because James, sweet baby James, Kitty, is about to knock over the tripod, and he's messing around. So he may just have to, be contained for a moment. He's not happy about that. He's so sweet. Anyway. So she was convinced I had the pattern. I do not have the pattern, but we found a pattern in a book, in a magazine that was in that collection of boxes that she thought would be a good substitute. So for some reason, I offered to knit this alternative pattern for her, although I really wasn't sure what I was getting into at the time. Isn't that how it goes, right? So this pattern is from Vogue Knitting, spring of 1994. And, back then, they did patterns like this, where they give you tiny instructions in a paragraph, and there's some, little diagrams, and he wants down. And that's about it. And it's tedious, let me tell you. But what this pattern looks like, is it's a cardigan, and it's knitted flat in pieces. I'm not doing the pockets. She doesn't care about the pockets. And it's knitted flat. So the reason it's taking me forever and I keep bitching about it is because, all right, so as an example, this is like a 10-row cable repeat. This lace section is like 4-row repeat. And then this lace section here is like a 16-row repeat. So none of it's the same multiple, right? So you've got to keep track in different sections. You have 4 and 10 and 8 and 16. Obviously the 4, 8, and 16 would be just fine if that's all it was. You could somehow coordinate those pattern section repeats, but no, they had to throw a 10 in there. So it's tedious and it's back and forth. So I've knitted several of the pieces. That is the left front, I think. Here's the front that's done. I think this is the back. Yes, this is the back. So, I mean, it's lovely and it'll be fantastic when it's blocked, but it's a pain. So that's why we call it That Damn Sweater, and hopefully she'll get it eventually. Okay, so I haven't started this, I've done the back, I've done one of the fronts, I'm on the second front, and then I have the sleeves to knit. So, but I also told her, you'll be getting this all in a box. I am not piecing this together. That's on you. So she knows this. Anyway, okay, so that's the first part of the desk tour. That's probably well, maybe not. That's one of the longest whips that's just been lingering. Okay. Next up is, and again, this is just part 1 of the desk tour. We'll have to have part 2. Otherwise, this will be a very long video. This is a sock that needs to be finished. This is from the Unique Sock Kit. It's hand-dyed striped sock yarn, which is awesome. So you have 2 of these and they match. And if you start at the same point on the outside or the inside, then you'll have 2 pairs of socks that match perfectly. Well, like this. My kids tend to like one of them knitted from the cuff down and the other one from the toe up. So they're not matching. They're more like fraternal twins. So that's fun. So that's on the needles. Well, actually it isn't because I had to swipe the needles for something else. But it's in progress. This is May's Sock Club from A Girl and Her Wool, DK Sock. This is May's offering. So these wouldn't take that long to finish if I could just get myself sat down to do it. Okay. Then I have, this is also from A Girl and Her Wool. This was from the March into Spring box last spring. So yeah, in this tote, in this little bag, we have like 3 sets of socks in progress. So there's that. Oh. Okay, the other sock I have on the needles, and I'm almost done. I only have a couple of rows left on, this is just sock number 1. You've seen this in the clog vlog videos with Jill. This is, August colorway from A Girl and Her Wool, and I chose to use the dark contrasting the dark green that I had. So this is just a shorty for me, and I'm digging it. So I'm knitting this on, this is not DK. I switched my subscription to fingering weight. So this is fingering sock from A Girl and Her Wool and I'm knitting this in size 0s because I like a good dense sock fabric. So I think I'm getting 10.5 stitches per inch probably. Next is a colorwork bottom up traditional Fair Isle sweater that I'm knitting it's a pattern from the Shetland Wool Week annual. This was from the 2020 Shetland Wool Week annual. So it's patterned by Rachel Hunter and it's called, you can look this up on Ravelry. You may be able to buy it now as a standalone pattern. And it's called the Strom cardigan, S-T-R-O-M. You can look that up, or I'll put a link down below to that. So I'm starting on the bottom of that, but let me show you one of the sleeves so you can kind of get a sense of the pattern. So this is really pretty. These are the colors that I chose. And there's a sleeve. So I've done both sleeves, and I've just started going round and round on the bottom up. So that's just going to be a lot of round and rounding. Okay, so that's that sweater. Oh, I need to finish this hat. And this is the Musselburgh hat. I've shown this a couple of times. I knitted this with scraps from an Advent kit from Sunshine Yarns. This was the Rock Scissors paper kit from 2019. But I ran out of yarn, and so I'm having to go stash diving for some coordinating scraps, and I'm still working on that because it's not long enough. And again, it's just round and round, so it's great movie knitting. So that's a lot of whips, and I'm not even halfway. Let's see, what else can I show you? I had started the mystery knit along for Expression Fiber Arts, their mystery knit along. This is a corner to corner Afghan, so that's been a lot of fun. Using up some worsted and sock yarn held double. So I'm loving that. But I'm behind. And, oh, let's see. Oh, this one's been languishing quite a while. This is a shawl that has a Celtic cable border. The top portion is just very basic. It's just a crescent shaped shawl, and it's very, very basic. However, the bottom of it is fantastic and has this Celtic cable border that's just lovely. This is called the Celtic Myth Shawl by Assista Krebs, and I'll put a link to this down below. I'll put all the pattern links down below. But it's a basic crescent shaped shawl, but look at the border. Isn't that lovely? I have knitted this before, and this is just another one. I really liked it. So these have been just kind of languishing. I don't know what my problem, well, my problem is, I do know what my problem is. My problem is, it's just like, woo, shiny thing, and then I cast on something else, right? I mean, I think we all do that to a certain extent, don't you? Anyway, finishing things is good. Okay, I think that's probably enough for this version of Jana's Desk Whip Tour. We'll do this again in a few days. Let me organize the rest of my stuff. Since I moved my office, I had all of this shoved in a tote. So it's the tote tour, actually. So I will organize that. You know, maybe some of this, maybe one of these pairs of socks might be done by the time I do this again. We'll see. Thanks for watching. You guys are fantastic. Also, if you're seeing this video before midnight Eastern time on September 9th, which is tomorrow, and you're interested in signing up for the Purl Together retreats where you can come to Ogden, Utah and knit with me, there's a link down below for that. You can also sign up for the virtual retreat if you're unable to travel, and that will be October 21st through 23rd. So check out the links for that down below. Thanks for being here.